KASPA. Already having had a decent run this bear when most things are either down or trading sideways. But what does that mean for its future potential? We're going to take a closer look at what KASPA is, what it does, and why it just might be a fantastic investment opportunity. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification to stay in the loop, and of course, join our community. First things first, let's break down what KASPA is all about. You may have Googled KASPA, and as with most of these projects, a website is a website is a website, typically designed by engineers who seem to be purely unable to make an appealing hub for their projects. And to me, at least, KASPA is no different. But luckily, we're going to take a look under the hood and see why the site is no representation of their potential. This project, it's relatively new, and it's been making waves in the crypto space recently, mainly due to some of its upward price action. It's part of a broader blockchain ecosystem, but what sets it apart is its promising focus on scalability and security. KASPA is built on the KASPA blockchain, which was designed from the ground up to address some of the most common issues facing earlier blockchain networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It aims to provide a solid foundation for decentralized applications, which of course make it easier for developers to build and scale their projects securely. I'm going to compare some of its key features without getting too deep in the weeds that make this appealing to me, and how it positions against one of the most popular, if not the most popular and successful blockchain in this arena, Ethereum. So to jump right in, number one, scalability. One of the major issues facing many cryptocurrencies, especially Ethereum, is scalability. KASPA addresses this directly by using its unique block DAG or block DAG, which stands for Directed Acyclic Graph Structure. Basically, what this means is that transactions can be processed in parallel, allowing for much faster transaction times and increased capacity. Ethereum's really struggled with its scalability issues, especially during periods of high demand, leading to slower transaction times and higher fees. So KASPA brings a solid solution here and can significantly enhance scalability and reduce congestion on the network. Secondly, security. KASPA places a strong emphasis on security. Its innovative consensus algorithm called Ghost DAG enhances security and minimizes the risk of double spending attacks. This is crucial for any cryptocurrency that's aiming to be a reliable medium of exchange, whether now or in the future. Ethereum, while generally secure, has faced security issues and vulnerabilities in the past. And so this additional layer of security puts KASPA slightly ahead in this arena, at least until it's been around for a while, like Ethereum, and we start to see new and exciting ways to break security protocols. And thirdly, KASPA seems to be committed to decentralization, which is, of course, at the core of blockchain technology, or at least it should be. So this basically ensures that no single entity has too much control over the network, making it more resistant to censorship and manipulation and all that ugly stuff that's made victims of retail investors time and time again in years past. Both KASPA and Ethereum aim for decentralization, but KASPA's design philosophy places a much stronger emphasis on avoiding centralization, which is, more than anything else, certainly playing into the focus on DeFi and narrative of this next cycle and probably every cycle thereafter. It's usually buzzwords like this that can pull the investment triggers of those wanting to stay relevant with current trends in the space. So KASPA's marketing angle in this regard helps achieve this to a much higher degree, in my opinion. Of course, like Ethereum, KASPA also offers smart contracts allowing developers to create decentralized applications on its platform. As we all know, this opens up a wide range of possibilities for various industries, from finance to supply chain management. Again, KASPA's potential advantage here lies in its scalability, which can make it a lot more attractive for developers looking for a platform with faster transaction processing and, of course, lower fees. And for anyone watching this channel, as you know, when doing our due diligence, the leadership team is another major catalyst to a project's success for various reasons, much of which based around sentiment and how much trust and gravitas they bring to the table. So, founded by a guy called Jonathan Sompolinski, a mouthful for sure, I've done some digging into this guy, and he seems impressive in his own right, having attended Harvard University, part of the MEV research team. You can go and Google him and find most of the same information that I found, but needless to say, he has enough gravitas for me, including Co-founding DAG Labs and co-authoring a few industry white papers and such seems to be a level or two above your typical founder, and with the backing of what seems to be a pretty robust and impressive team. So now that we've covered what Casper is and some of its standout features, let's talk about why it might be a fantastic investment opportunity. Casper's pushing the boundaries of what's possible in blockchain technology while staying relatively safe and secure. Its unique block DAG structure and consensus algorithm address some of the biggest challenges in the industry. This innovation could potentially lead to widespread adoption once that train gets moving. And don't forget, the early bird gets the worm. Casper's still extremely new, which means there's a chance to get in on the ground floor. Early stage investments with this much potential have historically yielded significant returns. So jumping in early, despite it already having seen some minimal price movement, could be an absolute goldmine. For those familiar with the channel, you know that a strong and engaged community is always a great sign for any cryptocurrency and a massive flag, sometimes the flag, when it comes to seeking that network growth potential. Casper's been steadily gaining support from developers, investors, enthusiasts. And when we see some diehard fans waving the crypto's flag, it tends to bode well for the future growth and expanding the awareness footprint a great deal. After all, there are quite a few projects out there claiming that they're making things faster and cheaper and more secure. What most often helps a project stand out is the momentum and community support behind it. And it seems this is well in order for Casper, setting it up for a solution to rally behind during this coming bull cycle. So, in a nutshell, Casper, it's an exciting new project that's all about scalability, security, speed. While every investment has its risks, the unique tech and potential growth here, in my opinion, could make it an interesting choice for some remarkable gains during this next cycle and beyond. So it comes down to, what are my expectations here? We're seeing a lot of folks throwing around some large predictions, some that fall into the $10 range, which from today's price of around 4 cents would make it around a 250x. Is this possible? Sure, it would depend on not just the adoption of Casper and its growth and its user base, but also from a substantially higher overall crypto market cap. And don't get me wrong, I do believe Casper is very well positioned for a lot of that new interest and revenue that's going to flow into crypto and matriculate through the first choice blue chips like uh, Bitcoin and Ethereum into the solid second and third layers of awareness and options. However, at least for this cycle, I don't think we're going to come close to that price. But that's not to say I don't think we're going to see some great returns and a lot of new millionaires being minted, especially those who are getting positions during the bear cycle. Not that Casper seems to be paying attention to the bear cycle. With an already over 700 million market cap and the likelihood of us seeing some big sell off when the price hits around 50 cents or even $1, it's going to hit some major resistance to push on past those prices. I could be wrong, of course, and we could see some explosive growth if we do make it past those prices. And then, well, we can start heading towards even higher, bigger, juicier round number targets. We already know from tokens like Hex during the last cycle, and most probably during this cycle too, that market cap is becoming more and more a vanity metric and not necessarily a driver of price. Certainly not as directly as it has in the past. So I'm not saying at all that the market cap will play a huge role in anything except driving sentiment for those, of the older veterans in the space who pay more attention to that. If we get past $1, the push to $2 just opened up and the rocket ship starts all over again. We've seen this time and time again. If Casper makes its way into the top 50 tokens and then makes a push even higher, then really the roller coaster has just as much potential as anything else on the market. The important thing here is to know when it's time to start to take profits. We can predict right now to a certain extent as to when that can potentially make sense to get our mentality right in advance. But we can get a much more accurate reading on those optimum times during the cycle when we're playing or paying heed to macro and micro market drivers in the moment in real time. As we all know, crypto evolves and changes on a dime. And so we are always playing the market we are given, not the one we expect. Feel free to join our new Patreon group linked below. and follow along, as we set our positions now in this bear cycle, and as we grow to hit our 100K, our 1 million challenge targets, and also see our buys and our sells as the market gets underway and we start looking for some of those drivers and those indicators that we like to look for. We should be set to make a lot of money. And it's all about positioning now. It's all about setting things up for success in the bear market and DCAing in and getting out at the exact right times. You know this. For those of you who've been through cycles past, this is going to be key. And we can only plan ahead a certain amount. Right now, we're looking at nice, juicy projects with a lot of potential. We want to make sure that we're getting in at optimum times. We're setting our positions. We're continuing to DCA in at a rate that makes sense, but also making sure that we're pivoting and adapting as we need to. And then as the bull market kicks off and we start looking for those buy and sell flags, that's when we start to make more of our strategic moves. So again, feel free to join our Patreon, links below. Join the channel, subscribe. There's a lot more projects that we're going to be looking at that will be a part of our portfolio and are a part of our portfolio now. And so my job here right now is to make sure that we're getting into the right ones with the most potential, and we have the correct percentage breakdowns in our portfolio that are probably going to make the most sense for us as we start to see those returns and as we start to see a lot of that that revenue, that excitement, that energy flowing into crypto, into the projects that we're already well situated in. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys on the